United States Senate approved President Trump's selection of National Director of Intelligence. More to come.
Valentine's Day came early at the Student Center. See how students were celebrating with a man's best friend.
A bout of rain this evening could allow freezing ice to form once again on the roads and sidewalks. Stay tuned for this and other storms coming our way as Kent Stater TV at 6 starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County, and thank you for tuning in to KSTV News at 6. I'm Liz Sharp.
And I'm Anthony Leonardi. A
meeting was held at the Kent Free Library to talk about the issues surrounding Transformation 2028 and its efforts to reorganize the university's colleges and programs.
The final stage of the project is supposed to be implemented in spring of 2028, and some of the main concerns are the potential elimination of programs and how the focus on cost cutting may affect the university's offerings.
Well, Anthony, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and I know I love finding new ways to celebrate this holiday, and Kent State has a really interesting one.
Yeah, they do. Our own Sydney Brown has more. Sydney?
You guys heard that right. Puppy kisses, but for a cause. I stopped by the puppy kissing booth this morning to learn more about the mission behind these furry faces.
I love dogs. I'm a huge animal person.
Yes, I'm a dog person. I just like dogs, so I thought I'd come up here.
And I obviously just love dogs, so I just wanted to come and pet them and see them.
With over 80 members, this club raises service dogs for children and veterans through an Ohio nonprofit.
We're here fundraising for our dogs with this puppy kissing booth, so it's a good way to kind of socialize our dogs and get the public to know about our club.
Handlers like Emma consider the dogs she's trained a part of her college family.
This is Harriet. She's 10 months old, and she is a service dog in training. She goes everywhere with me pretty much, which I love, of course.
And students around campus are also catching feelings for these on-campus celebrities.
Honestly, I've been following this club for a while because I've wanted to join it, and I saw they had this event today, and I've been wanting to meet the dogs.
The dogs stay with the handler for roughly a year and a half before they are placed as a service dog or can be adopted.
Sometimes they do flunk out, but we still get to keep in touch with them and see where they go after they're outside of the club.
5 furry friends are in training this semester.
So you literally get to watch the entire dogs go from kind of being a little menace to being a full-blown service dog, helping change people's lives.
People come to Ohio from around the country for dogs like this who can serve complex needs.
Really helps me meet new people and make new friends, and some of them with 4 legs, others with 2.
And these pups are a reminder this Valentine's Day to fill your day with the things that make you happy. For KSTV, I'm Sydney Brown. Now, they are still service dogs, so just ask before petting if you spot a dog in training on campus, or attend a Pause for a Cause social event where the 4-foots are always happy to have your attention. Guys?
Thank you, Sydney. Well, if you're bummed about missing the puppy kissing booth, there are lots more events to check out around campus.
Yeah, Liv, I know I am. But for more on these events, we turn to Lexi Blatnick. Hi, Lexi.
Thank you, guys. There are plenty of events taking place on campus today, starting with a yoga event. Spend the night making candles and practicing yoga with the Recreational and Wellness's Yoga Glow workshop. Participants will learn how to mix and pour their own uniquely scented candle. And while the candles are settling, participants can do yoga. The workshop starts tonight at 5:15 and runs until 6:45 p.m. Student tickets cost $10 and can be purchased on the Recreational and Wellness's website. And Black United Students is hosting a bachelor event to celebrate Black Love Week in honor of Black History Month. A bachelor or bachelorette asks 3 hidden contestants a series of questions to find the perfect match. The event starts at 7 p.m. in Oscar Ritchie Hall, and an application to be a part of the event is linked in Bus's Instagram page. Kent's Office of Global Education hosted its first cultural cafe this semester. A presenter from Bolivia talked about the country, and students sampled Bolivian cuisine at no cost. The event ran from noon till 1:30 p.m. in the student ballroom. Follow the International Students and Scholars Services Instagram account for more events like this. For more stories and updates on campus, visit kentstater.com. For KSTV, I'm Lexi Blatnick.
Thanks, Lexi. Lincoln Mabry Jr., the convicted killer of Becky Kerr, will soon be paroled from prison. Mabry is currently serving a life sentence for aggravated murder and an abduction charge since 1980. Mabry killed Kerr in front of her then 8-year-old daughter, and over 3,000 people signed a petition to keep Mabry imprisoned. He is set to be released on April 14th. He is now 82 years old.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sophia Sonato, and I'm here to give you your recap of weather. And we've got a lot to cover this evening, so let's get started with what's outside our windows currently in Kent, Ohio. It is very cold this evening, 33 degrees. It feels like 27, and there's a very high chance of rain tonight, which I will get into in a minute. These winds are going higher at about 9 miles per hour, and that visibility is low. As a result, only about 4 miles. The moon phase tonight is a full moon. We are in the snow moon, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac, and that name is based on the heavy snowfall that we experienced in the year. This is the perfect night to spot Venus, as Venus is brightest during February. Now, as I had mentioned, we've got some heavy rains that are happening this evening. This ice is going to be as an effect of the winter weather advisory that is going to be taking effect until 7 p.m. tonight. We're going to reach a low of 31 degrees, and it's been a wintry mix this afternoon that will turn into rain. But the cold air overnight, as well as the high humidity, make it a potential for morning ice. And this is varying accumulations across the area, but the entire northeastern region of Ohio is impacted. These winds are going to be going at 10 miles per hour, which could make for more freezing ice to accumulate, just like we were dealing with last week. And that is all I have for now. Stay tuned to see what the weather is looking like outside our neck of the woods, as well as see what storms are headed our way this weekend.
Thank you, Sophia. Last night, a Norfolk Southern train derailed in Attica, leading to leaks in 4 of the cars, which contained corn syrup and ethanol, respectively. They also said that there is no danger to the public and that cleanup efforts will continue throughout the next 2 days. There were no injuries or property damage reported by the Seneca County Sheriff's Office.
And lawmakers in Ohio are expected to review a piece of legislation soon. The bill is called the Conception Begins at Erection Act, and it would make a felony for men who have unprotected sex without the intention to impregnate. A co-sponsor says that the point of this bill is not to pass it, but more to make a statement about the hypocrisy in making laws about women's bodies. The final draft of this bill is still being written.
Thousands of Ohio students have written letters and testimonies opposing Ohio Senate Bill 1, which would ban diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts in Ohio higher education. Many of the students are from Ohio State, and the survey given to students shows 80% of the 1,574 student respondents said that their DEI initiatives were meaningful in some way. SB 1 was voted out of the Senate Higher Education Committee this morning and will go to Senate Rules and Reference.
Thanks, Liv. Valentine's Day is approaching. We'll tell you how to avoid getting scammed during the Day of Love on today's Consumer Report.
A year and a half later, audio has been found from the Titan sub implosion. Find out what was released and how they got it.
We know you work hard, so come spend your lunch with us at the Bistro on Main. We've been serving the community for 3 generations. Only a quick 10-minute drive from Kent State's campus. Make your breaks count at the Bistro on Main, where friends become family.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Welcome back. We've long established our love for Valentine's Day, but besides that, it's one of the biggest consumer holidays in the U.S.
Yeah, and for all these consumer headlines and more, we welcome in our correspondent, Gage Wellman. Good evening, Gage.
Thank you, Liv and Anthony. As Valentine's Day approaches rapidly, we at KSTV have a few consumer updates to keep in mind for this weekend's holiday. A press release from the office of Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost is warning Ohioans about the dangers of romance investment scams. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this concept, in essence, it describes the practice of a scammer meeting someone over the internet and cultivating a romantic relationship with them with the intentions of taking their money. The AG office warns people of trusting those you have just recently met over the internet or know little about. This Valentine's Day, you may want to buy your partner a different type of candy, as the price of chocolate is set to go up. The price of cocoa has doubled since the beginning of 2024, and it hit a record high in December of last year. Furthermore, economists are saying that prices will raise by a price of 10 to 20%. On the bright side, there is a way to avoid this price hike by purchasing chocolate made with cocoa powder, as just plain cocoa is in the more expensive confections. New tariffs are in talks of being imposed by President Trump may impact the local beer industry. The proposed tariffs on steel and aluminum would affect how breweries store and serve beer, specifically in kegs. According to data from the Brewers Association, beer in aluminum cans accounted for 75% of beer sales. Additionally, the price of imported Canadian beer cans may rise as the tariffs would impact those as well. For consumer updates and more developing stories, go to kentstater.com. I'm Gage Wellman, KSTV.
Thanks, Gage. A Goodwill in Maine was evacuated today after someone donated a box with a hand grenade, among other military items. The bomb squad was called in and the place was deemed safe for activity to resume. A Goodwill spokesperson called this an oddly common occurrence and reminded patrons that Goodwill has a do and do not donate list on their website. Police do not believe the person who donated the box had any ill will.
The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration released the audio of the Titan sub implosion, which is the first time any audio has been released of this incident. The audio is about 20 seconds long, and it's mainly just static buildup until the moment the submarine imploded. Officials say that the audio was picked up by a passive acoustic recorder that was 900 miles away from the wreckage site.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Winter Storm Harlow made its way through the mid-Atlantic, causing roughly 700 accidents and over 30,000 power outages.
The East Coast got hit hard with snow. The largest accumulation was in Virginia with a whopping 14.5 inches. While many people are still feeling the effects of Harlow, Winter Storm Ilyana is set to bring similar weather with more snow and ice.
Well, before the newscast, we were told that we might get a 2-hour delay or class off tomorrow. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that cold weather, it's the worst. But for more in weather, we take it over to Sophia Sonato.
That's right. Thank you, guys. And to get a gauge of how this pattern of precipitation and these winter storms are going to affect us, let's head outside our neck of the woods and look at the entire state of Ohio. You can see these temperatures are pretty much around the same, ranging between 28 degrees up in Toledo up to 37 degrees in Pittsburgh. Now, these temperatures are going to drop over to the very low 30s into the high 20s, and that's going to account for that possibility of ice overnight and is going to create the same exact precipitation that did delay classes last Thursday. I cannot guarantee anything, but hope should be a little high. Now, we're going to zoom into the northeastern part of the state and look at these temperatures a little bit closer. You can see that everything is a little bit closer together as the sun's going down. The temperatures are going to be going down as well. Ashtabula, the highest at 34 degrees, and Mansfield, the lowest at around 30, along with Sandusky, just under the 30-degree mark. This major winter storm is going to be coming through over the weekend, and I want to dive into that with our extended forecast. Tomorrow, if you had missed, there's going to be a chance of snow showers with a high of 35 degrees and a low of 14. And there's going to be a good chance of this ice causing issues when you are driving, so make sure to watch that when you are going to classes tomorrow. On Friday, we are going to have a little bit of a drier Valentine's Day. It's going to be a high of 27 degrees and a low of 23. No chance of precipitation that I'm looking at, but it will be mostly cloudy. Now, in the weekend, you can see I have this very big pattern of a wintry mix with rain and snow mixed together with a high of 38 and a low of 30. It's going to make for some pretty ugly weather. And by Sunday, we have a very solid chance of snow with a high of 33 degrees and a low of just 7. We're getting into this major cold front in the start of the next week. You can see it's a high of 11 degrees on Monday, 17 on Tuesday, and 22 on Wednesday. There won't be any further precipitation, but this cold weather is going to make for some pretty ugly commutes. And that is where my report ends. To stay up to date on these waves of winter storms, you can tune in right here with us at KSTV. From the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Sophia Sonato. Good night.
Thank you, Sophia. This afternoon, the U.S. Senate confirmed Tulsi Gabbard as the Director of National Intelligence by a vote of 52 to 48. Gabbard was considered one of Trump's most controversial picks, with many Republican senators being uncertain of confirming her. These concerns stem from her lack of support for Ukraine, amongst other issues. Gabbard is President Trump's 14th nominee to be confirmed.
And earlier today, President Donald Trump spoke with both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. And according to a social media post, Trump says they talked about Ukraine, the Middle East, and AI. However, officials would not confirm what was discussed between Trump and Zelensky. But the White House hopes for the talks to lead to the end of the war between Russia and Ukraine.
A source from the Trump administration has announced a prisoner exchange between the U.S. and Russia. Accused Russian money launderer Alexander Vinnik is being released for American teacher Mark Fogel. He had been held in Russia for the last 3 years after entering the country with 17 grams of cannabis in his backpack. Fogel is back in the U.S. and has already been greeted by President Trump. The Super Bowl soared with another record-breaking broadcast. We've got the numbers and what to expect for next year's event.
And Kent State men's hoops welcomed in Central Michigan last night, and one Golden Flash had a career high. We'll tell you who it is and how many he put in against the Chippewas.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Is it okay over there? Is that good?
Jackie boy, look, we have been through a lot together.
Hurry up before this rain, this rain goes away.
Well, it's just,
solo stage where the player spends most of it being hunted down by Infinite. The weapon that performed the best here was the Drill Wispen. Its ability to...
He finally is like, I get it now. I get it. I have worth because I'm me. Yeah, and I really liked it a lot. Like, I'm not...
What are you staring at? How do you know it's me? No.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
For those of you who watched the Super Bowl, you were far from alone as the broadcast on Fox reached a new record high of 127 million viewers across all apps.
This is a 3% increase from last year's broadcast on CBS, with the most people tuning in during the second quarter when nearly 136 million people were watching.
Next year's Super Bowl will be broadcast on NBC and Peacock.
Well, Liv, you're our Sports Corner host. What do you think? What do you think about the Super Bowl?
I mean, I thought it was a really great Super Bowl. I enjoyed it a lot. It certainly wasn't what I expected. If you had talked to me on Saturday, I truly believed the Chiefs were going to three-peat, but I have never been happier to be wrong. Did you share that belief?
I mean, I'm in the same boat. If you were paying attention to anything I said, all of 2024, I was dead set on them three-peating. But for more in sports, we'll take things over to our own Matt Crawley. Matt, what do you got for us?
Good evening, everyone. It is great to be with you all on this Wednesday before Valentine's Day. And here is the latest in the sports world in Portage County and beyond, as we will start in the Mack Center, as the Kent State men's basketball team was back in Maction as they played against Arkansas State on Saturday, if you will, against Central Michigan at home. Looking to go back to over 500 in conference play. Let's take you to the action inside Kent as Central Michigan and Kent State were ready to roll. This was a game that ended up being 91-83 the final score, as a career night from Marquise Barnett. He had 28 points in the matchup, but we start with a look at Von Cameron Davis. He scored double figures in 4 of the last 5 coming in, and he'll kick off the scoring with that 3. A minute later, Davis from the top of the key from beyond the arc nails it, 21 points for Von. Later on in the game, Anthony Pritchard in the corner, he drills it, 22-10. Chippewa's drawing closer, under 7 to play in the half, but you see the steal from Sion Medley, Solinger ahead to Davis, and how about the slam from Delrico Gillespie? 48-33 flashes at the break. In the second half, Barnett hits the 3, like I mentioned, 28 points, 6 made threes for Marquise, but the Chippewa's not going away. Pritchard hits the driving layup, 18 points for the senior guard. Flashes were too much, however, on this night, 91-83 the final. Kent State will play OU in the Mack Center on Friday. Let's now go to the ballpark. Kent State baseball has been picked second in the MAC preseason coaches poll for the 2025 season. They received 84 total points, with 2 first-place votes finishing behind Ball State. Opening day for the Golden Flashes is scheduled for Friday against Eastern Kentucky at the South Alabama Invitational, with first pitch scheduled for noon. Taking things now to the mat, KSU gymnast Nene Alvine was named the MAC Female Scholar Athlete of the Week earlier today. She won the all-around title in last Friday's meet at Northern Illinois, tallying a season-high 39.0150 and earning a 9.8 or better in 3 events. She also put up high numbers in the classroom with a GPA of 3.966. Congratulations to you, Nene. All right, finally tonight, world-renowned scientist Bill Nye stopped by MLB Network's Hot Stove live from the MLB flagship store in New York City and said that the Cleveland Guardians will win the 2025 World Series. And you know what? Who am I to deny the man that taught me and the rest of a generation in this country science growing up? So, Guards fans, get your parade plans for November ready, because Cleveland will take it all. That'll do it for sports. For KSTV, I'm Matt Crawley, saying wherever the ball flies in the air, the Kent Stater Sports Network will be there. Good night, everybody.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced the 2025 induction class. We'll tell you about the inductees.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine, and I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
The nominees for this year's class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have been announced, and there's some surprises on the list. 6 of the nominees are newcomers, while 8 have been nominated before. Among them is Chubby Checker, Outkast, Cyndi Lauper, Billy Idol, and the band Mana, the first primarily Spanish recording artist to ever be nominated. The winner will be announced in late April before being inducted just a little bit north of here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, Liv, I'm very interested to see who's going to end up being inducted.
Yes.
But what's got me more going crazy is Bill Nye.
Bill Nye?
What is he thinking?
I have no clue.
What is he thinking?
Is he from Cleveland? It was just such a random pick because obviously, I mean, no shade to Cleveland fans, they're not beating the Dodgers with their 100,000 billion quadrillion payroll.
I mean, I'm with you on that. Listen, I think that they could. They were in the ALCS, but man, you got some juggernauts in the in that position already. But
make it to the World Series, sure. But Bill Nye the Science Guy, that we disagree with you. That is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
For these stories and more, visit KentStater.com and follow us on all socials. I'm Anthony Leonardi.
And I'm Liv Sharp. Have a great night, Portage County.
Sit with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book